Good morning, 670 fans. Or maybe it's afternoon or evening when you're watching this. Maybe it's in the middle of the night. Today, we're going to talk a little bit of GoPro. And we've had a couple of questions, a couple of comments about our setup, either because it works out pretty well and people are interested in what we're seeing, or it's really bad and people want to find out what not to do. Either way, this could be informative. So I'm going to start with a GoPro that is my personal one. This is a Hero Session. Was bought actually. I farm, and it was bought to be used as a monitor when we were doing some work on the farm, filling an air seeder cart, because it has Wi-Fi on the phone, so you can see on your phone what the camera is seeing in almost real time. So we used that for a couple of years, and then I got back into mountain biking and found that that's maybe the better place for using a GoPro, though I still do use it. So some of the common mounts that you find are going to be your helmet top ones. I have a model here. This is a Dragon, and so it just clips into the top of the helmet just like that, slides in. On the actual GoPro branded ones, there's this little locking piece that keeps them from coming apart. Might be important. Never had trouble with any of the other ones. But so that's a helmet mount. Nice thing about this helmet, this is my ski helmet actually, is that it is a completely smooth surface, clear of any venting or anything like that. The GoPro mount on there has a little bit of a curve to it. But going over to my wife's mountain bike helmet, you can see here you've got vents, you've got these ribs in here. So sometimes you have a helmet that is really hard to work. Some GoPro mounts have straps that you go through the vent holes. Really, it's hard to get those tight enough that it actually works. So you'll see with most, if not all, of our videos on the 670 YouTube and Instagram and Facebook that we're using chest mounts for that. So that's what I have here on this other model here, our Dinosaur. So he's got that mounted in this way. This is the easiest way that I found to mount the GoPro and still get enough angle up. I think it's upside down from what you usually do. You can see here that the 8 and the black are, well, the 8 is not upside down, but the word black for that is, and then you've got GoPro is upside down there. But I found that either I lean forward too much or something, but when it's the other way around, I don't have the ability to move it up high enough. It gets caught in here. So by doing this upside down, and the nice thing about this Hero 8 is that it will automatically flip that image when doing that on that mount. And it still allows you access to your buttons here and over here. Now the problem with my old Session here is that if you're trying to run it a certain direction, the problem is if your mount box, if you have to mount it upside down like this to get that to work, you lose your record button, which isn't that helpful. So either you'd be running out on the phone, or you would be somehow starting recording and then putting it back into the mounts here every time that you want to record. It just pops out quite easily, but it's still something that you're always fooling around with. And I found that a little tiny bit of adjustment on a GoPro makes a big difference in what your field of view is. So yeah, so on this one I mounted upside down, which allows it to, you can imagine, we'll just turn the Dinosaur over. If this would be up here, you don't have that far that you can go up and make it work. So if you flip it over, and it automatically flips your screen orientation so that up is still up, you have all sorts of abilities to do this. Plus it keeps it maybe a little bit higher on the rider. I'm not sure. It's pretty similar where it's going to be. So that's kind of what we've been doing, what I've been doing lately with GoPro. One other thing in reading, we bought this this spring, I think the 670 did, and it's a very nice GoPro. The 9s are out now, so of course that one's better. But the one thing that's supposed to be better about every other one but the 8 that's recent is the lens piece is replaceable on all of the other ones but the 8. We do have a screen protector on there, which we've cracked once already. That might be news to the board. I don't know if we'll have our meeting before or after they watch this video, but yeah, a little cracked screen protector is not a big deal. I've got another one on here, but the other ones have the ability to change that whole screen area if you break it or something happens to it. So that's maybe something to look into. 7s are quite cheap. 9s are new, but have come down some in price, and then there's always the 8 like we have. So that's kind of a rundown on our GoPro and how we are doing it. Settings wise, I don't know, there's stabilization, there's different fields of view, there's zooms, there's all sorts of things. It's not something that I'm really going to get into because I have no idea what works best. We've just found something that works quite well. And there's plenty of other YouTubers out there that have far more experience that will talk to you about settings and everything like that too. So go out and have a look for those. But this is the setup that we've done, and some of the tricks that I've found in my short time trying to film myself not crashing on the trails in Red Cliff and Elkwater. Thanks very much for tuning in.